Now this is a view. If you want to know how cool the Land Cruiser Heritage Museum is, just take a look behind me. 2 new Land Cruisers and dozens of classic Land Cruisers. I know when I was at the Lexus GX reveal, I said no words, just emotions, because I thought the GX was so cool looking. I'm sorry, GX, I'm sorry. There's someone else, and it's called the Toyota Land Cruiser. I mean, I just can't get over this thing. I can't get over how good it looks. I can't get over this facility, the Land Cruiser Heritage Museum. If you've never been here, this place is just stunning. It's just stunning, nestled in the heart of Salt Lake with the mountains in the background and all these classic Land Cruisers. I mean, take a look here, come on. I mean, this is just such a cool facility, and this new Land Cruiser absolutely belongs among its brethren here at the Heritage Museum. You walk outside the Land Cruiser Heritage Museum and you find this like expedition ready 200 series Land Cruiser just, hanging out outside with its roof box up. I mean, no big deal. It's the kind of thing you see out here. What's going on, everyone? I am here at the Land Cruiser Heritage Museum, and we are at the debut of the new Toyota Land Cruiser. And you've probably already seen content on that topic on this channel, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about something that is being debated on the interwebs, and that is the fact that the new Toyota Land Cruiser is suddenly, because it's a little bit smaller, it's 4.4 inches narrower and 1.2 inches shorter than the old one, it puts it more in line with the Forerunner. So it has this sort of Forerunner-ish size. And I've been seeing people debating, like, what does this mean for the Forerunner? Does this mean that the Forerunner is going to go away? What does it mean for the Sequoia? And I want to pose the question to you and then offer some of my own thoughts. So here's a couple things that I was thinking. First of all, yes, the new Land Cruiser, if you're wondering, is sort of approximately the size of the current 5th gen Forerunner, but it's got a couple key differences aside from the obvious. First of all is the much more modern powertrain. If you don't know, because you've been living under a rock, this thing has a 326 horsepower turbo i-Force Max 4-cylinder found in the Tacoma, and it has 465 pound-feet of torque running through an 8-speed automatic transmission and going through full-time 4-wheel drive. And you get all the off-road goodies that you would expect, almost like TRD Pro level Forerunner trim, okay? Now, what does that mean? What does this mean for the Forerunner? I've got a couple thoughts. First of all, they're not getting rid of the Forerunner. There's no way they would get rid of the Forerunner when it is such an iconic name. What I think this might allow them to do is make the Forerunner a little bit smaller and even more off-road focused. Think about it. It makes perfect sense. You have something like the RAV4 meant for on-road and families. You have the Highlander meant for on-road and families. You have the Grand Highlander meant for like big families going across the road. And then you have the Land Cruiser now the Land Cruiser for taking a family like mine off-road. We don't need all the space. And you have the Sequoia if you really prioritize that second row. And maybe the third row. The third row is not that great in the Sequoia, am I right? So the Forerunner now could shrink down to be, let's say, a little bit shorter than this, maybe, like with a slightly smaller rear seat, slightly less cargo space. Don't get your hopes up for some kind of like Bronco-ish, removable doors and roof. I really don't see that coming. I think that's a pipe dream. But I do think that the Forerunner could be more off-road focused to battle against the Wrangler and the Ford Bronco. It makes perfect sense in my opinion. They will not get rid of the Forerunner, mark my words. But I want to ask you, what do you think of the Land Cruiser? What do you think happens to the Forerunner in the 6th generation? Let me know in the comments, because I want to know two things. What do you think the Forerunner will look like in terms of size and space? Okay, I mean, we all have thoughts about what it will look like, but what do you think it's going to look like in terms of size and space? And then what do you think is going to power it? I'll tell you right now, my thoughts is it will be smaller than the Land Cruiser, and it will be powered also by the Tacoma powertrains. I think that just makes perfect sense. But let me know if you think some zany, weird thing, like you think they're going to stuff the twin-turbo V6 or something into it. I don't think so. Don't hold your breath. I do think, though, I would not be surprised if we see an over-trail version of the 4Runner, because the Tacoma has the Overtrail version, right? Well, there you go. It has a TRD Pro and an Overtrail. It would be perfect if the 4Runner sort of adopted the same like model hierarchy. You'd have the SR5, you'd have maybe the TRD off-road, and then you'd have the TRD Pro and the Overtrail. So you let me know what you think. I love the new Land Cruiser. I think it looks fantastic, okay? I am smitten with it. I very much want one. I very much think that that could be in the cards for us, but I wanna know what you think. You let me know what you think of the Land Cruiser, the Sequoia, and then what is going to happen with the 4Runner, and I will see you in the next video.